Dirty people of the internet, welcome to Mom's Basement, from where I bring you another Destiny 2 build video. A Warlock build coming in hot, featuring insane tracking solar blades, dirty 2-taps, and even 1-taps like never seen before. Crazy full damage, max range, precision damage which lets you map guardians in the crucible. All this and more in this brand new DirtyHotte build video, which is definitely a must-see. And always remember folks, like, subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated and help me out, cause for every like, Mom gives Dirty a cookie. Moreover, if you're interested to see me live coming to you from Mom's Basement, make sure to drop by my Twitch channel where I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. You will find the links in the description and I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And now let's get this build clip started! Okay, dirty folks, great, you are still with me? We will go through this build step by step, starting with the primary weapon, going to secondary gun, the exotic armor piece we gonna use with this beautiful build, showing stats and mods of this build, and the subclass we will be using. And to conclude the video, maybe some stream gameplay with this build in action. First, any 120 RPM hand cannon with a solid roll will work. Personally, I'm using this beautiful True Prophecy right here. Unfortunately, you can't get the True Prophecy at the moment, but as said, any solid 120 will do. But I really love that one with hit mark, accurized rounds, rangefinder baby, which really extends the range onto unbelievable ranges, and rampage. And guys, you know what that means. 1 kill, rampage active, and this beauty is 2-tapping guardians in the crucible. But as said, any solid 120 RPM hand cannon roll will do. And here's a little nasty secret your boy Dirty lets you in on. If you don't have any legendary 120 that is solid, go to your collection and pull this beauty, the Azimuth DSU. That thing is absolutely crazy, great range, and it has kill clip. So as again, 1 kill, reload, and you're 2-tapping guardians in the crucible. So cutting a long story short, a 120 RPM hand cannon is basically the core of this build. And you need to have that 120 RPM hand cannon in your kinetic slot. Because that brings us to our secondary, the gun we pair this 120 hand cannon with. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the exotic Eriana's Woe. Yeah, that thing is beautiful, and you might say, what, another weapon for range? Yes, absolutely, and you will understand later in that build why. Because we will have a few options that makes the 120 RPM 2-tap, and let me tell you right now, every of these options will make Eriana's Woe 1-tap. 1-tap guardians in the crucible. As long as they have 8 resilience or less. And that's most of the folks, guys, because nobody is running 9 or 10. So one thing I want to mention about Eriana's Woe is that having the catalyst is really helpful, or maybe absolutely critical, you could say. Because after holstering this gun, it automatically reloads, which is pretty nasty. Pretty helpful, so you're always ready when you need it. And the reason why we are using Eriana's Woe for this build is, it's basically the best sniper in game. Because you have very low zoom, and man, that thing feels really crisp if you get the hang of it. So with our 2 guns down, let's have a quick look at our stats. It's pretty mixed here, so normally I would say go for more recuff. But for this build we will be using an Empowering Rift, and it's good to have it up, but it's more like an on-demand backup option to get some damage buff. And with the subclass we will be using, we will have an on-demand heal. That's that. So not as critical as usually for Warlocks, I'd say. But on the other hand, we go pretty high in intellect. If you can spare it, go as high as possible, because we will rely on our super pretty often. And you will understand later, folks, why we do that. Because it's a critical part of this build, and I show you in just a second. Just stay with me here. So, as already said, we're gonna use the Empowering Rift. We have a solid 120 here. We have Eriana's Woe as our secondary. No better option for an exotic for this build like the good old Lunafaction Boots, guys. Alchemical etchings, however that's pronounced. Your rifts gain the additional ability to increase weapon reload speeds. And here it comes. The Empowering Rift makes weapons effective over longer ranges. And let me tell you, with the 120 and Eriana as well, there is basically no limit to the range when you are standing in an Empowering Rift. You can challenge everybody across the map. So with that said, let's have a quick look on the mods we will be using. Another benefit of this build is because we are using 2 hand cannons, we only need hand cannon mods. So first on the helmet we use hand cannon targeting, obviously. And because it's pretty cheap, we also use a precision charge, which helps you to become charged with light by rapidly defeating combatants with precision kills from both hand cannons, which we are using, and scout rifles. Yes, you get the -10 to strength, that's that, but we will be using a subclass with a melee that's so bad that you won't really miss it, folks. Next one are the gloves. I mean, I have an intellect mod there, and cannon loader. As said, we are using 2 hand cannons, so just stuff all the hand cannon mods you have in your gear. For the chest, we will be using another intellect mod, and as you can see, high energy fire. And I think now you already know where we are going with our mods. As on the Lunafaction Boots, we also have a small intellect mod, 2 times hand cannon scavenger. That's pretty useful for the Eriana as well. Special ammo, because that mod counts for those. And taking charge. So let's have a short break here. We have taking charge, and we have the precision charge mod and high energy fire. So that's what we do. We are getting a charge with light, which makes our beautiful 120 RPM hand cannon 2-tap. And moreover, it makes Eriana as well 1-tap guardians in the crucible that have 8 resilience or less. Beautiful. That's really nasty, and in contrast to Empowering Rift, you are staying mobile. And now you might say, Dirty, you forgot one piece of gear. What mods are in your class item? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where it gets interesting again. Because for the class item, we are using, a recovery mod, because I need the points. And here you can see it, we use the Berserker mod. When your super ends, you gain a temporary bonus to weapon damage. The duration and strength of this bonus increases based on the number of combatants you defeated with your super. And that, folks, let me just get that right out of the way. If you have the Berserker damage buff active, again, the 120 will 2-tap any guardian in the crucible, and depending on how many stacks you have, Eriana's will again 1-tap guardians in the crucible, and everybody who already tried the Berserker mod knows those buffs can stack up to pretty long times, like 45 seconds, maybe more. So, with this mod, we have to use a subclass which has a super that's pretty reliant on killing guardians. So this might come to a surprise to you, but here's the subclass we are using. The bottom 3 Dawnblade subclass. Yeah, I know nobody uses that normally, but for this build, I have to say it's really great. Let's just go over the abilities it brings. So as said before, we are using the Empowering Rift in combination with Lunafaction Boots. That's really awesome. Great damage buff, great range buff with the boots. So let's start with Igniting Touch. That's the melee. Strike an enemy with this melee ability to burn them and cause them to explode. I mean, pretty useless. It's there. We have, as you have seen, stats wise, we have like 17 strength, so just forget about this one. Fated for the Flame. Daybreak projectiles seek targets as they travel, and upon impact launch a streak of deadly flames. So that's really strong, guys, because Daybreak is really, the further you're away, I have to say, the better the tracking is. So keep that in mind. But it's really consistent. And this, guys, is the one thing that helps us to get these Berserker buff stakes up. Then we have Phoenix Dive. Activate while mid-air to quickly descend and restore your health. So basically a Warlock air move. And this is what I talked about before. That's our heal on demand. So when you had an engagement and you're back in cover, just use it to bring your health back. Really helpful, guys. Don't do it out in the open, because the animation time will probably get you killed. While Daybreak is active, Descent causes explosive damage and returns super energy. Sometimes it's useful, most of the times it's not. I just use it when I'm in the super. Let's say I'm throwing a blade in the direction of a sniper and instantly go to the Phoenix Dive, which might or might not save your ass. Then we have Everlasting Fire. Killing an enemy with Daybreak extends its duration. And that's really cool, folks. I mean, it's less than it had been in the past, but it's still pretty good. If you mind to really aim your blades and don't spam them like in any direction, then it's pretty strong and helps you keeping up your super longer. So with the stats shown before, let me just go back. With the 90, I think 80 would be enough also. But with the 90, I'm able to have the super up like 2 times in a quick match. And if it's a longer match, it can be also up to like 3 times. But with the amount of time the Berserker mod is up, or the Berserker damage buff is up, that's really enough. So just let me show you a fast overview how we 2-tap, or with Eriana as well, how we 1-tap. I don't take the Rampage damage buff of my True Prophecy into account. So let's just see this here. So number 1, we have Charged with Light. So whenever we're charged with light, we can use high energy fire, which makes everybody being 2-tapped by our True Prophecy. Second one we have are our Empowering Rifts. So when we are standing in an Empowering Rift, we have amazing range, and again we are able to 2-tap every Guardian in the Crucible. And last but not least, when we used our super, we have the Berserker damage buff up. Maybe hopefully you at least managed to kill 1 or 2. I'm not managing that always, I admit it. But hopefully you have it up, which again makes your True Prophecy or your 120 RPM hand cannon 2-tap every Guardian in the Crucible. Wonderful. And now, ladies and gentlemen, comes another nasty beautiful part of this build. Everything you see here, which makes the 120 RPM hand cannon 2-tap, lets our beautiful Eriana's Woe 1-tap Guardians in the Crucible if you manage to get a precision hit, but that's doable with Eriana's Woe. That's really doable. And boy, does that feel amazing. So that's it, folks. That's the crazy full damage, max range, precision damage, which lets you map Guardians in the Crucible build with 2 taps or 1 taps if you like. And now, folks, let's enjoy some gameplay where I was rocking this build.
Zone B captured. You have zone advantage. Double down. Triple down. Ikora would be proud of you, Warlock. For 1. 3 minutes. Hold strong, and this battle is yours. You captured Zone A. Power play. Keep the pressure on.